Hello, good day to you. It's Andy and Talkin really, and today's story, I had to laugh because it was the way it's worded. Coffey dodges questions about the benefits and the numerous number of people who have passed. I'm being very careful what I'm saying because of YouTube guidelines, but we have to discuss this story, which was out on the 23rd on Disability News Service, and of course you may have seen it, you may not, but it is another typical story from the Tory party scumbags. The people who give what shall I say? They don't give a flying, basic leave for anybody, and it doesn't matter, even if it was in writing in front of them, they would still deny that there's a problem. They would still argue the toss that they are correct and that they are doing such a wonderful job. Anyway, moving on. The story today is Miss Cup of Coffee. She's been accused of dodging key questions about links between her department and the deaths of benefit claimants during an evidence session with MPs. She told the Works and Pensions Select Committee on repeated occasions that she could not answer because of ongoing illegal actions. Yeah, there are that many. So this allowed her to avoid questions about why the department appears to have misled two coroners, as you know from stories on this very channel. A story about that they misled two coroners about a safeguarding review that was supposed to have been completed last year. But it also meant that she failed to respond to accusations by Labour Debbie Abrahams that the DWP has shown no remorse and has been blasé and defensive following a coroner report into the suicide of Faza Ahmed, as reported in DNS the week before. Abrahams pointed to the lengthy and continuing delay in the Attorney General making a decision as to whether to give the family of Jodie Whiting permission to ask the courts to order a second inquest into her death. Abrahams also highlighted that how the family of Errol Graham, who starved to death after his out-of-work disability benefits were wrongly removed by the DWP, only found out that his case would be examined by DWP News Serious Case Panel through the media. And we all know about that. We've had an article on that on this channel. Abraham asked Coffey, is this how the state should be treating grieving relatives? When Coffey failed to respond, Abraham said these three examples of how families have been treated. After Coffey again refused to respond, Abraham said, I would hope that you would want to treat them with dignity, respect and courtesy, recognising the grief that they are facing instead of being defensive, showing no remorse and obfuscating in many people's mind. Coffey finally responded by telling her, I don't feel we are being defensive. I feel we have taken a big step forward, a recognition that some things just weren't working the way that they should. Also giving evidence at the committee was a DWP Permanent Secretary, Peter Schofield, who argued that senior DWP figures had met with a small number of families who had lost relatives linked to the department's failures. Coffey also revealed that the DWP had made changes that she believes will improve safeguarding, some of which appear to have been influenced by the publicity in January and February this year surrounding Errol Graham's death. Schofield told the meeting that the DWP decided on the 19th of March at a meeting of its new serious case panel, to introduce new steps it would take before stopping a claimant's benefits if the department had lost contact with them. Obviously, last year's inquest into Errol Graham's death had heard how DWP procedures to stop his benefit after two failed safeguarding visits. Letters were sent to Graham in September and October 2017 asking why he had failed to attend a work capability assessment, followed by a telephone call, a text message and the 2 visits, but he failed to respond to any of them. Deprived of all financial support, experiencing significant mental distress and unable or unwilling to seek help, he slowly starved to death. Schofield said yesterday, "The change now is if we have tried all of that, we would take that back and have a case conference about the individual, particularly if someone with vulnerabilities that we know about. These discussions could include other organisations such as social services and the claimant's landlord," he said. "If this fails, the case could be passed to the new safeguarding leads the department is appointing across the country. In that way, what we would seek to do is to provide support, not remove benefits. The approach is now to work not just within the department, but to work with all sorts of other agencies, organisations, to make sure that we understand the vulnerability and the circumstances before we can make any decision like that." Obviously, the family of Errol Graham were highly critical of Coffey's evidence. Alison Turner, the disabled partner of Graham's son, said Coffey had given a bunch of excuses for not answering key questions, and she questioned why it had taken DWP 10 years to act to safeguard benefit claimants. Turner said that those changes appeared to have been introduced because of the publicity surrounding the case, and she said the changes also appeared to be an admission that DWP have failed to protect claimants in vulnerable situations like her partner's father. What she had announced she should have happened 10 years ago, and then maybe Errol would not be dead. She said DWP had repeatedly ignored advice to carry out exactly the measures it has now introduced, and she added, "Hundreds of families have suffered because you have ignored them." Despite Coffey saying officials had met some families, Turner said she had never been contacted, and she criticised Coffey for failing to express any empathy or remorse over Errol Graham's death during yesterday's hearing. "I don't think she cares," she said. "I was annoyed that she was using the legal case as an excuse to not demonstrate any kind of an understanding of what she has put me through. Today's announcement that the procedures have changed is news to us all and our client," said Lee Day. The legal people? "While we cautiously welcome the announcement, it is imperative that the Secretary of State publishes the relevant guidance immediately so that our clients and the public can see whether it actually requires decision makers to liaise with agents or whether enough has been done to ensure the vulnerable are adequately protected." Yesterday, Coffey also avoided answering questions about why the DWP appeared to have misled both the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, and the NAO, National Audit Office, about its failure to keep track of safeguarding improvements recommended by its own secret investigations into the death of benefit claimants. Stephen Timms, the committee chair, quoted evidence passed to him which showed that the DWP had admitted to EDAO that it had been failing to track the recommendations 3 years after claiming to the ICO that it had indeed corrected the same failings. But Coffey told him, "I don't know anything about that." It sounds about right. But she also produced striking new figures which appeared to show that the department began 79 reviews into suicides, other deaths and other serious incidents relating to DWP actions in 2019 and 20. This would be a huge increase on previous years, as it had previously said it carried out 131 internal reviews between 2015 and January 2020. There is some confusion over the figures because previously admitted in a Freedom of Information response that it had launched just 54 IPRs in the year 2019. Coffey also told the committee that she had finally agreed to publish the terms of references of DWP new serious case panel and minutes of its meetings, although this is not likely to happen until later in the summer. Coffey told the meeting that "I am very conscious that when things do go wrong, they go badly wrong for people, and we need to be much more agile in how we pick that up." In other words, they'll do cool and screw you. She's only been caught out. Right, there we go. There's a lying coffee dodger. Have a good day and keep yourself safe and have a good day and bye for now.